works. All right. Having a little trouble getting started here. So I got the new book published today. Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. It's been a long project. Anyways, for anybody want to get started, I kind of want to just alleviate fears. And anybody got any questions? I don't care what you want to ask anything. I've been buying and selling real estate since I was 19 years old. I've accumulated tens of millions of properties or dollars values of properties, and I've made tens of millions. And it's been over a period of about 30 years. And it's like a heavy cart. You know, when you get going in real estate, really, it's like a heavy cart. You know, it's hard to get rolling, but once you get it rolling, it's hard to stop. Meaning, you know, you get momentum, you get impassioned about making money and making deals, and then as you have success, you build on that. And so I was just so darn fortunate to buy a property when I was 19 years old. And let's see, and I got to wear glasses now. Let's see. So I got a question here. What do you think about dual commercial real estate agents just selling apartment buildings? I'm not sure what you mean by dual. But anyways, I mean, I think you specialize. I bought a few apartment buildings in the past, made a lot of money. I bought 34 units, and that was between two buildings. And I paid about $10,000 a unit. I got them for like $340,000. And when I sold them for $55,000 a unit. So that'd be about $1.7 million roughly. So you can make money with anything. You really can. And I always try to emphasize that to everybody. You know, there are no bad properties. There's just bad deals. And so you got $20,000. Okay. And we talked about this, Joshua, I think the other day. I'd go after land. You know, I just get into land. I used to buy lots for $10,000 and resell them for, you know, anywhere from $18,000 to $30,000 and more. You know, cash is a big asset in the game. You know, if you can close quickly, and with $20,000, you're going to have to start with smaller properties, but you can still close quickly. And you know, also interest isn't that high anymore. You know, in other words, when I was a kid, they were paying 10% interest at the bank. So if you can tell somebody, get them to carry a note, and that's kind of in my book. I talk about getting people to carry notes. That's something I did a lot of. I was 19. I didn't have any credit. Bank wasn't going to loan me any money, and so I'd get people to carry their notes on their properties, and I'd get them to carry them for about 10% back then. And now, you know, you can get them to carry it for 4%. I got somebody to carry a note. In fact, that's in my book too. An apartment building. I got the guy to carry a note for 3. And I was willing to actually give him 7% originally. And that was paying him, I offered him $400,000. I offered him $320,000. But he wanted to hear $400,000, or his wife did, I should say. And so I said, okay, $400,000 and 3%. And in the end, over the term of the loan, I ended up saving about $80,000. Now I sold the property before I ever got all the way through paying off. But anyways, in the end, I let them assume the mortgage, and I charged them another $30,000 right at the day of closing. So let's see. You know what? Okay, we got a question about buying and holding apartment buildings. You know, it just depends. Here's the thing. If you've got an asset that's cash flowing, you can hold on to it because it's bringing in cash. Doesn't matter if the market goes up or down. As long as it's bringing in money, you can afford to hold it. You know, I've been acquiring, you know, offices and commercial strip centers and industrial buildings, and a lot of these I bought with the intention of keeping them and holding on to them. And I've owned them for many years now. And they bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, some of them. And so these are things that if the market goes down, I mean, maybe I'll lower my rent a little bit. Doesn't really matter, but probably won't have to. But I'm not under the gun to sell it. And it's where you can get caught is if you have a house or something you buy, and maybe if you buy it right and you buy it 30-40% under market, then great, you have an opportunity to flip it and make that chunk of money. Now, if you hold it too long and the market goes down, then it may get to being close to worth what you owe on it, or even the worst case is if it became worth less than what you owe on it, because then you're kind of stuck. And so you don't want to get stuck. So when you're beginning, I say it's like Henry Booker. He's a mentor of mine, and he said, Tom, you can never get hurt taking a profit. And so what he meant by that is don't try to squeeze every cent out. If you can make a profit and go, take it. Make your profit and go. And now that you guys are here, please like the video. And if you guys want to get my book, it just released today. And it's more than a book. I got to tell you right now, it's actually a course. It's exactly how I started and how I got people to carry notes and owner finance and and how I found the properties in the beginning. And even if you don't have money, don't let that dissuade you. As long as you get your knowledge and you understand the values, that's the number one thing. Understand value and look around your immediate neighborhood. As I sit here right now, I could, and I'm on a nice property I've had for a long time, but I bought property that's walking distance. I could probably run and get to everything, probably 7 or 8 properties from my home. And they're all properties that just came up for sale around me over the years. And I've flipped many of them. There's one up the street here I flipped and made $60,000. That's that's one of my videos, making $60,000 on a vacant lot. Another property I bought for $110 and I sold it for like $270 or $280 in 3 months. Don't think for a second that you have to know everything about real estate. You'd be surprised how many people are selling real estate that aren't that bright. And so, if you specialize in your area, it's just knowing value. If you live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or you live in an apartment, you kind of know what things are worth, whether they rent or whatever. That's your gauge. And then from there, like I said, if you're shopping an area and always looking, you're going to know value. So if average house is $100,000 or $200,000, whatever it is, and then suddenly you find a distressed sale and somebody can sell it for far less, you make that deal. Now, finding those deals, and I've got all kinds of videos on how I find deals. I talk to you about bird dogging all the time. Number one is get there first. If you can get there before an agent gets there, that's even better. Because as soon as they put on the MLS, your competition, skyrockets. So let me get back to some of these questions here. Do I think being a real estate agent is worth it? I mean, sure. Yeah, actually, I know a young guy got his license not long ago, and then all of a sudden he's got a new truck, and I don't get specific and ask him how much he's making, but I'll bet he's probably going to make at least $120,000 this year. And for a 24-year-old kid, that's pretty damn good. Yeah. Nah. Hey, being an agent, good. Being an agent, at least it immerses you in the market, and you'll run into guys like me, that are active investors, and you'll learn a lot just by watching. And you get a piece of the action. You get part of the commission along the way. Hey, thanks. Happy New Year, Will. You picked up a vacant lot for $9K and you flipped it for $25K. That's awesome. That's exactly, answers the question of the guy above. What if he had only $20,000, do what Will did. He just bought a lot for $9,000 and flipped it for 25. I did a lot of that. I probably went through about 60 lots in a very short time, and on average, I made about 10 to 15,000 per lot. Um, and a lot of it I made in a note. In other words, I if I put $5,000 down and bought something for 10, I'd sell it for 20 or 15 or 30. Well, I would get my money back. Whatever I put down, I'd get at least that much back. And then sometimes they would assume the first that I already put in place, and then I would carry a second at 10 grand for whatever 8, 9, 10%. And I had a lot of notes coming in, probably 30, 40 notes at one time. And on average, they're only $100 to $200 a month, but that adds up, $3,000 or $4,000 a month. And this is, quite a while ago. This is like, 25, 30 years ago. And that money coming in, all of a sudden, the part-time income, my real estate, my side job, exceeded what I was making in my real job or my business. I've been self-employed almost my whole life. I went self-employed when I was 19. But that's the power of real estate. It can become more lucrative than the business you're in, or the job you have, obviously. But anybody got any other questions? I mean, is there anybody getting stuck, or you got any fear? Or if you're actively doing something, I mean, I love hearing that somebody's out there making some money. Taking 9 grand, turned it into 25. That's no small deal. That's awesome. Well, yeah, Christopher, you talk about being a commercial agent. Yeah, I mean, I deal with commercial agents all the time, and they make a fair living. And it's always good to specialize. That's why I say, I mean, like, I know what everything's worth as far as houses go in my neighborhood here. I also know what commercial buildings are worth, and I also know what industrial buildings are worth, and offices are worth. And I always have an eye on that. Those are kind of easy. Houses are a little bit finicky because they're not based on income; they're based on location and comps. That you compare houses to houses in the general area. That's how you come up with the value of a house. Well, commercial buildings and stuff, it's not so much about comparing it to other buildings. It's more about what's the income. And on average, what ends up happening is most properties are valued at about a 6% cap. Chances are nobody's going to sell it at a price that's going to give you a better deal than a 6% cap, meaning you're going to get 6% on your money as if you paid all cash for it. Now, I try to buy things on average. When I buy things, they're worth, I get about a 15% cap. But that's because I buy things under market. But when I assess the value of it, it's really comes out to about a 6% cap when I mark the property to market. So, but hey, what I want to tell you guys is, I've got a couple hundred videos here. I've talked about all the stories and different things that I've made. I show you how to make contracts, and just in the try to alleviate the fears, because so many people they're afraid of what they don't know. And I'm telling you, buying property is not much different than buying a car. You're just buying you're just buying it, and you have the rights to it, and you might still have a lien holder, a bank that you owe money, just like you do on a car. And so you get the title, but it's not clear. It's like a car, you get a title, it's not clear. But the difference is your car usually goes down in value, and real estate goes up in value. So you got the benefit of, it's a high leverage too. You can usually get people to carry 90% of the loan, or a bank will, loan you 90% of the value of the property, or 25 or 30. I mean, I should say 75% if it's commercial. If you're into that, I am. But but the bottom line is, you can borrow money at 4 and 5% on the majority of the property that you owe. What you owe on, you're going to borrow the money from the bank at 4 or 5%, but you're going to get appreciation of maybe 8 to 15% a year. So you end up making, anywhere from say 5 to 10% a year on the borrowed portion of that money. So if you borrowed $90,000, you might make $9,000 a year just holding on to the property. That's if you want to hold it long term. If you're afraid of speculating, which it's good to be fearful of that. Unless you got deep pockets and you can weather the storms, then that's different. But if you don't, then what you want to do is, like Henry Booker used to tell me, and that is, you can't get hurt taking a profit, but you can certainly get hurt hanging on to property that you can't afford to hold on to. And that's like land is kind of a game like that where it costs you money to hold on to it. I mean, in other words, you got property taxes eating you up and things like that. In fact, you're going to see a video. You're going to see a video. I paid $424,000 in property taxes just the other day. And I videotaped it so I can show you guys. It's just a ton of checks and a lot of, anywhere from, $3,000 or $4,000 to, $82,000. And that's annual bills. That's annual taxes. Now, the good news, of course, is that if I'm paying that kind of tax, guess what? The rents are covering it and I'm making a profit. And that's where you want to be. You want to be in that position where, you've got income coming in, whether you work or not, whether you're sick. I put my kids through college, even if I'm, sleeping through it. I can afford to get hurt and get laid up and not work. And I can be lazy if I want to. I try not to be, but I fall into that category once in a while. I'm getting old. Oh, cool. You got your mailers, sending out tomorrow, making some calls. That's great. That's the other thing. It's like I spent the last several hours figuring out my email, MailChimp for bouncing out to people and reaching out and letting them know about the book for sale. And it was kind of reminiscent because I spent, probably the last, many hours learning this system. And it reminded me of how I used to start work after work. In other words, when the day was done, when everybody else is quitting, that's when I start picking up the phone. That's when I start following up and making phone calls to people that I've sent letters to. And it's work. It's hard. I mean, I say it's hard. It's no fun. I mean, you obviously you don't have a social life. You're sitting there calling, but it's a numbers game. And just like I tell you, there's deals that pop up in every neighborhood, in every city. There's deals every single day happening. Somebody's getting divorced, somebody's wealthy and doesn't care, and they sell off stuff cheap. There's so many different reasons deals come about, and they happen all the time. You just have to be the one to get there. And even if you don't have money, you just got to contract, and then you get in between that and somebody that has the money, and there you go. And like I said, and I tell it in all my videos, is there's a wonderful amount of money to be made in assignments. And I didn't even think about assigning properties to anybody when I was younger. But what happened was I went to a guy that had money. I had a great deal in my hand, and I went to him and I said, he was my old boss. I said, hey, let's buy this together and let's make some money. And he said, you know what, Tommy? He said, that is a great deal. He goes, but I don't want a partner. And I was like, what? And he goes, how about I give you $20,000 to go away and I'll buy it by myself. And of course I said, that's a great idea. And I took the 20,000 and ran. And then I, bought another, I don't know what I bought with it, but I guarantee I bought a couple houses or something and used it as a down payment. Or I bought more land. But that's the thing, is you always want to keep active reinvesting. Keep your money working for you. Don't take your money out and buy a car or a motorcycle or something that goes down in value. Just keep yourself broke. Keep your stuff invested in things that grow. And as long as you do that and discipline yourself with that, you can't go wrong. Believe me, I had many years where, I still dress like a plumber's helper, I'm a worker, but I have money. I don't care about looking good. I care about feeling good. And that's what you need to do is be concentrated on, consider your money a tool. And so when money comes available, just roll it back into buying something else. And, when you start creating, hundreds and then thousands of dollars a month income, then hey, you know what? I can stretch. I can go buy a piece of property that cost me a couple $1,000s a month to cover the mortgage, because maybe you feel good about it. You think it's in the path of progress. Then you can afford to speculate a little bit when you have more money coming in. So, and I've done a lot of that. But in general, what I do is I don't overextend. Most of the properties I have, I own outright. You guys see me buy houses all the time. I pay cash for them. And even if I don't have much cash in the bank, and when I see something I want, I just draw it on a line of credit. I have property that I can pull hundreds of thousands or even a couple $1 million from, and I can pull that money and I can go buy something else. And that's what I do. But I can do that because I have been disciplined all these years, and I have, have been really good with my money. I keep it invested, and that's what you need to do. So look, you can get my book digitally. You can get it. I would get it on Kindle, so you can, then you can have it on your phone. And the good thing about it, what's really cool, is on the Kindle version of my book, you'll see I got chapters in here, and you'll see I do these things called flashbacks, and I reflect back on a deal and exactly what happened in that deal. And I show actual deals that I've done in here, of course. That's the other thing. You want to learn from somebody that's actually done it. I see people claiming to be real estate gurus, and some of these guys are making a lot of money selling courses, and they haven't done anything. They don't reference any deal that they've ever done, and that's not experience, So what I was going to say is, you'll see, I have links. I have links within the book, the digital book. You click on the link, and it'll take you to a video where I go in and I talk in detail about a relevant issue. It could be leapfrogging. If I've got a chapter in here on leapfrogging. You guys can also just go watch a video I have on leapfrogging, and that's a really important lesson. If you find a property and you get in a situation that you're bidding on property with someone, and let's say you're way down, you're in the $20,000 and $30,000, and this is a property that's going to go to 200. In fact, I have one I did about 6-8 months ago, and this is exactly what happened. There was only 3 people kind of bidding on this thing, but there was going to be 5 more people by the end of the day. And so what I did, I got there first thing in the morning. These guys are 100, 110, and they're kind of waiting for a response. And I just came in. I said, look, I'll give you $160,000, but I got to know right now. So I went 50,000 over everybody else. And the agent was like, huh. And I said, hey, but you know what? I said, offers off after 1 o'clock. I'm leaving. I got to go to New York. And I didn't really have to go, but I was going to go, but I didn't have to go. But I made it like I'm really going. And I said, other than that, I said, otherwise, deal's off. I said, but I'll give you 160, but I want acceptance. Pull the sign out of the front yard and let's get this thing done. And it was hard to sit still, but I had to wait about an hour or two. And I called again. I said, well, what's the story? And he said, hey, we're going to lunch. We'll call you right back. And they had lunch. And now the price has gone up to 120, but I'm still, these 2 guys that are fiddling around, and what they're doing is they're wasting their time, because they're going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way up to 200 grand, where I jumped over, leapfrogged, if you will. I leapfrogged over them and said, here, I'll give you 50,000 more than both of these yo-yos. And they had lunch, and they go, you know what? They go, a bird in the hand. That's what he told me. He said, the owner said, hey, a bird in the hand. I'll take it. And so they accepted my offer. And we got that thing signed, and guess what? By the end of the day, that guy's phone was lit up. He had people wanting to pay more than I paid for it. And of course, I closed it. And in fact, I've already flipped that one, I think. I've already flipped that one. So that's when I talk about leapfrogging. Now, here's the other thing about leapfrogging comes in, the opposite of that. And that is, if you own a lot of property and you're going into a down market, I leapfrog the other way. So if I want to get rid of some assets that are $150,000, and I can see that they're going to head south, and they're going to go down the tubes, and maybe they're going to be 70, if the trend keeps going in 6 months. So what I do is, everybody's saying, oh, I'll sell it for 100, and then the next week or two they go, oh, I'll sell it for 95. Well, I go from 100 and jump all the way down to 75 or 80 maybe, way more than everybody else is willing to go, because boom, then mine sells and it's gone. Okay. And then maybe somebody else does it, but pretty soon that becomes the market anyways, is 80,000, because that's where it was headed. But instead of me, putting my property up with other people at the same, and I'll tell you, this is something to keep in mind. This happens a lot. People go in, they buy in the first phase of a neighborhood. You see neighborhood, going in, and all of a sudden, everything's say 150,000 for 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes, whatever. And then the next phase, it's the same thing. The next phase, connected, contiguous property, and now they're 170. They're 20,000 more than the people that paid 150. Then the third phase, they're pushing 190, and everybody's just feeling great about their investment. Oh God, I only paid 150, now they're 170. And then third phase, oh, I only paid 150, and now they're 190. Well, then all of a sudden, the market goes down. It goes down, and then what happens is, the people that paid 190 are stuck, because now the fourth phase, or maybe the remainder of the third phase, they start selling at 180 what they were selling the second phase. So now the people that bought in the third phase, they're like feeling sick because it's not worth as much as they paid for. Now they're selling the new homes for the same or a little less than what they paid for it 6 months ago. And the guys in the second phase, they're going, oh, gee, this kind of sucks. They're selling the new homes now for as much as I paid for my home. And the guy in the first phase, he's going, oh man, that stuff's going down again. And so the guy in the first phase, if he wants to leapfrog the other way, like if I own property in that, I would jump ahead of everybody, and I just go, you know what, sell it for 150. I wouldn't take turns, ratcheting down the market slowly with everybody else. I jump ahead of them and sell for less than everybody else. That way I'm free of it. I'm clear of it. I get rid of it. And that's a reality you have to face. You're not going to have to worry about it now. In the beginning, if you're, starting out, best thing is just buy it under market, get it under contract, flip it, assign it to somebody, take the money and run. And then pretty soon you got enough cash. You go buy something on your own, and maybe you pay nearly cash for it, and you're sitting pretty. It doesn't matter if it goes up or down. You're comfortable. So, hey, please like the videos while I got so many people watching. Please like the videos, and if you would, take a look at the links below. You can go read the first couple chapters of this book for free, by the way. You click on the link. The paperback is supposed to be available. I don't think it's available right this minute, but it's supposed to be. Amazon will have it. You can order it. $19 this, and believe me, this is a course. This could be $300 or $400 if you want to compare it to other courses, because it really is a course, but with a bunch of real-time experience tips. I mean, I take you through everything. And anyways, and quite a few people in watching the channel have called me, emailed me, and I've helped them through some deals, and we're going to start interviewing some of those folks and sharing that stuff. And I got to go pick my son up from his work in about 10 minutes, so I got to close out here pretty quick. But you got to get started, and I'm telling you right now, go spend $10. Go get the digital version of this book. It will keep you motivated. It'll keep you focused and on what you're supposed to do. And these seminars that are running around the country, they make me sick. I hear about people that go to a free seminar, then they say, hey, for $200 you can go into the next room and we give you more information. And then by the time the end of the day is, they're making people feel like crap unless they spend $20,000 or $30,000. And they just kind of beat up on them. They're taking advantage of them, saying, oh, well, if you're really serious about making money, you'll come up with 20 grand, and but if you're not serious, that's the most ridiculous. Listen, if you have $20,000 to invest in a seminar, you don't need a seminar. You've got cash. That's the best thing in the world just to get started in real estate. All you need is common sense. And you can get the information from me, just for free. Just watch the videos. But I'm telling you, for $10, 20 if you want paperback. But I like the digital version. You did the digital version, like I say, you click, boom, it'll take you to a relevant video to the chapter you're reading. It'll help you comprehend and grasp and understand better. And I've been doing it for so long. Sometimes I get questions here, and I'll say, hey, you know what, I've never done that. And then about 10 minutes later, I'm going, you know what? I forgot I did do that. And then I recount the story. So that's the kind of mentor and you need, and especially somebody that's so cheap as me that, I do it for free. I like sharing. I like seeing people prosper. Like I say, not everybody finds the magic of real estate and how fast your wealth can build. But I actually caught on early. I got it at 19 years old. And and it was just, it wasn't just luck, but I mean, it was, I was very fortunate that I found a situation, found somebody who wanted to sell me something. I had a hungry realtor who wanted to sell me something. So I learned about owner financing. I had long hair down to here. I was 19. Nobody would have, to look at me. I had allergies. I looked like I was high, even though I wasn't. I just had allergies and I had bloodshot eyes. But nobody would have probably trusted me to carry a note at that time. Other than if you talk to me, you'd think I was probably reasonable. But that, the money is not a barrier. You don't have to be wealthy. You or I, either one of us finds a deal. I'm going to find the deal. I'm going to close it by myself. If you don't have money, you're going to find the deal. But guess what? You can knock on my door and say, hey, Tom, I got a great deal here, and I'll buy you out of it. I'm not going to be your partner. I don't want to be a partner, but I'll say, hey, I'll give you 10 grand and you walk away, or I'll give you 20 grand, depending on how good a deal it is. And I'll take your position and I'll buy it by myself and I'll make the majority of the money. And that's fair. The hard copy could be available this minute. I don't know. I got a question. I don't know. But, I do. I mean, I like both. Obviously, I got both. I mean, I wrote the book. But I would say you could buy both and it wouldn't even matter. That's $30. $30 for both. But, you always have your phone with you. So you always have it with you. And like I say, the fact that you can jump to my videos or other people that inspire you, then that's what you do. But I got to get ready to go get my son. So please get the book and give me 5 stars, because it's definitely for $10. I don't care how bad it is. It's worth 5 stars and $10 because there's just so much real-time experience in here. And anyways, I appreciate everybody. Any questions here? I got a couple minutes. If anybody's got anything else, try to look back here. Glad you got your mailers going. Yep, thanks, Will. I appreciate it. Appreciate the order. If it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting when we get rolling here, and you're going to see some cool videos I've got just prepared, and I'll have them out here shortly. But man, just trust yourself. It is easy, and the economy is doing great right now. There's no signs to me that anything's going to drop anytime soon. Other than maybe a car plant might close that's, building a lame car, or some sort of industry might be wiped out. Short of that, our economy is doing very, very well. People are working, people are making money. I have other companies and businesses besides, real estate. And, I had one of my employees, said, "Hey, Tom." I said, "What?" And she was kind of whispering. She goes, "Hey, I saw my check." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, thank you." And I go, "Oh," and I said, "Did you get a raise?" And she said, "Yeah." I go, "I didn't give you that raise." I go, "President Trump gave you that raise when he cut taxes," because he cut the taxes, and everybody that works for me, 85% of America got benefited. Now, my business didn't benefit from it, but the people that work for me actually got a little bit of a raise out of it because they got less money taken out of their check. And so, for some of these people, it was the equivalent of about a $28 a week raise. So I was very excited about that because everybody's feeling happier. I mean, she thought I gave her the raise, and I said, no, that wasn't me. But the fact that the economy is doing so well, people are keeping more of the money from their paycheck. That is really, really good stuff. That means we're going to, people have money. If you look at the numbers, people are shopping and buying more online. People are even buying more from the stores right now. And, that's a healthy economy. I've been through some real ups and downs, and I've seen real long dry spells before. And I don't have any of that going on right now. And I'm thrilled because I have 4 kids, 24 to 16. I know that all of them are going to come out of school, college, or whatever. And my daughter's just got up with a master's in accounting, got a great job. My other daughter's coming out of marketing. She'll have a great job too, because there's plenty of jobs out there. My boys are 16. They still got to go to college if they want. And if they do, I know they're going to be, they're going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine for many years to come. So I'm not saying don't be cautious. You still don't want to be a speculator. Make your money on the purchase so you can flip it, get your cash. And it's the safest place to be. I would never, I don't like anybody that is just starting out to speculate, to buy and hold. You know, I mean, you got to live somewhere. You buy your home, you sit in it, but you can't just buy one. You know, you buy your home, don't stop there. Don't stop there, because the way you get rich is by owning more than one. You got to have one to live in, one to sell. You always have to have one to keep selling, and that one will turn, and then you get another one and another one and another one. And, you know, pretty soon you'll have, you know, a couple hundred a month coming in, and 1,000 a month, and 10,000 a month, and 100,000 a month. You know, and like right now, I keep 150,000 square feet of rentals. I always have that much, and that's going to grow. You know, by the time I die, I hope I have at least twice that. And but that's the power of real estate. And you know, it's really not the brightest person, just somebody with good common sense and discipline and a good work ethic, and you'll get there. You know, that's it. It's just math. It's just basic math. If it's worth 10, don't pay more than 6 or 7 for it. And that's it. It's pretty simple. So, hey, I got to go. Hey, thanks everybody. I appreciate you. Please hit the notification button. I really like it when more people are in here, and it creates for, you know, more questions. And sometimes somebody will ask a question, and you know, it answers everybody else's thought. They weren't even thinking about it, but they appreciate the information. I like it too. It gets me going, it gets me thinking. And you know, sometimes I steer off into other directions, but usually it's always good information. It's always good information. So and Happy New Year, everybody. And let's all make it a great year. Let's make it a great year. And if anybody gets in a jam, you can text me, or not text me, email me, Tom at FlipAnythingUSA.com. If I can help you, I'll help you. I've helped several people that have, you know, gotten a pinch. Now, you don't want to just chit chat, but I mean, if you get in a pinch, I'll call you and I'll help you through your contract, or help you write a contract, or whatever you need. I'll try. But that's it. So have a great day. Again, please hit the notification button. I think it's the bell, and you know, and stay engaged. If you stay engaged, you know what, you'll be more successful quicker. And I will too, because I feel pressure's on me to show you how to make money. And you guys, if you watch back my videos, you see I've made some fantastic deals since I started this channel, and you can too, and some of you have. So anyhow, that's it. Have a great night, and thank you, and that's it.